This is Leo.
Okay.
And this is a very pretty lady, Caitlin, who's also an expert technician making videos. She's already made me a couple of videos about Shakespeare. And we're here today to tell you about the cure of the common cold.
And I'm very excited to hear about the cure of the common cold.
Well, before I tell you that, the secret, I'd like to tell you something of my history with the common cold. I used to get terrible colds, fluids floating out of my nose, my eyes, my throat. I was a professor of Shakespeare, and I'd often have to give up teaching. It was so bad. Now, I have not had a cold in over 20 years.
Wow, that's quite impressive.
Yeah. So what is my secret?
Yes, what is your secret? So if you haven't had a cold in 20 years, what is your secret?
Sweat.
Okay.
Free-flowing sweat. And in order to encourage sweat, I exercise every morning. I recommend that.
Okay.
So you get very sweaty. You don't have to smell. I don't smell. After I get very sweaty, I wash it off. I use Yardley's English lavender soap.
Okay.
I smell like an English lady or
Quite
gentleman. And maybe this is the same soap that Shakespeare used.
Oh.
Who knows?
Very interesting thought.
Anyway, so I wash it off. Then later in the day, if I do robust work outdoors or athletic exercise, whatever anybody does, if you get sweaty again, you wash it off again.
Okay.
So you're not smelly, but you have sweated profusely. That, I think, has cured me of the common cold.
And you're doing
So
this
instead of
every
saying
morning.
the cure of the common cold, we should maybe say the prevention, because I hope people watching this will never get the common cold.
Now, how do you have the energy to exercise every morning? That's hard to do.
I exercise for 30 to 60 minutes.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter, I guess, what kind of exercise you do, so you work up a sweat.
Okay.
I think the body sweats because it wants to. So there's no point in blocking that sweat. I used to block the sweat as much as I could with deodorant.
Okay.
I don't use deodorants at all now. I only wash it off. And I don't recommend liquid soap because I think it leaves a film that may prevent sweating.
Block some of that sweat, yeah.
So one of the causes of the common cold is deodorant.
Although I have to say some people do need some other scent to
If you wash it off, you don't need it.
Well, maybe just not antiperspirant. Antiperspirant is what blocks those pores from being able to naturally do what they need to do.
I used to use it a lot. If I had the least sense of smell, I would cover it with deodorant.
Yeah.
And that was harming the effect.
Well, because your body's natural response to the heat, it wasn't able to do to cool down. So, yeah, that makes sense. So when you're sweating this much on a daily basis, it's often hard to keep hydrated too when you're doing that. And do you ever have kind of challenges with keeping hydrated since you're doing all this sweating?
No, I don't think so.
No.
And I often get sweaty later in the day too because I work outdoors. I don't do athletics, but a lot of people do, and I recommend further exercise during the day. It's all good.
Now, do you think it's the sweat or do you think it's the exercise? Because some people, would do kind of, hot yoga, or they might just go into kind of a hot kind of sauna to sweat. Do you think the exercise is the important part, or the sweat is the important
People
part?
say it doesn't matter what you do, so long as you exercise.
As long as you exercise. So do you think it's kind of the mix between the two? The exercise is equal importance to the sweat?
Yeah, to work up the sweat.
Okay. Very nice. Well, that's a good secret.
So I have not had a cold in all these years. Look how old I am. Exercise, they say, is the secret to longevity.
Yeah.
So look how old I am.
Yeah. Do you find yourself feeling better too, not just physically but mentally when you're exercising every day as well?
I think it's good for you.
Yeah, I would agree. Very much so.
So this is the secret. I hope millions will benefit from knowing how to prevent having colds.
And you do this every day.
Yeah.
Goodness, that's just amazing.
Yeah, about the flu, I think maybe this may help with flu symptoms.
Yeah.
I don't know if it may prevent the flu, but I think it may help with the usual cold-like symptoms that you get with the flu.
Very neat. Well, any other secrets up that sleeve?
I think we've covered it.
Because
Caitlin, you've been very patient with me. Okay, now I can tell if people want to get in touch with me. I prefer to use the postal service.
Okay.
I live in the tiny village of West Simsbury, Connecticut, 06092. And Caitlin, tell how they can reach you because you offer expert technical advice on videos.
We do our best. So I work for a company called Specialty Productions. So the best place to get in touch with us is actually going to the website, specialtyproductions.com, and then that has all of our contact information and information regarding me as well.
Is that sufficient?
Yeah.
You think you think it got cleared?
I think they're cleared.
Okay, good.
Well, thank you so much for...
I thank you so much for setting up this video and questioning me pleasantly.
Yes, well, and also imparting your wisdom on us as well, because if we could be all so lucky as to live just such a long and fruitful and creative life as yours, we would all be quite lucky. So, thank you.
Okay, good.